Give us the update on how the team's advancing.
It's been good. We've continued to put together really good practices, which again is our theme. Our focus every day is to just get better. We're not worried about long-term projections or what it'll look like in March. We just, today, October 15th, we want to leave the court better than we came on it, and we do that by being focused on the things that we're able to control at the time and having a really, really competitive environment. So I'm excited about where we are. I think the guys are progressing in a way that we're on track to be prepared to play games.
The way Cam talked about the newcomers, maybe they're starting to speak the language a little bit now, just not understand it, but maybe speak a few words, baby sentences.
Yeah, they can't put paragraphs together yet. Right? None of them can write well enough yet, but they can all say a few words. They each kind of can say some words that together you can put together a sentence, right? But they're coming along. I really, really like the way they're progressing. I think, again, like I said before, the most impressive aspect of this group is they're really, really competitive, but in a really good way that they want to help each other be better. They're not competing in a way that's going to hurt each other, but in a way that's going to help each other and continue to
Hitty's
grow.
got that unique Euro group of skills for a big guy, and Cam was talking about it, and we asked Hitty, is he finding a place for him in the offense with his different skill set?
Yeah, almost. He's closer. He's really, really smart. So he understands all the concepts. He's trying to figure out how that fits for him, how he puts his imprint. Because as always, well, mostly anyway, with freshmen, they're still always a little hesitant about stepping into an area where someone else may have already been laying, so to speak. So he's still kind of tiptoeing around, but he's really, really effective. He is one of the smartest basketball players I've ever coached.
How would you like to see him fit in the offense?
I've told him this. There's an argument about who the best shooter on our team is, but I think he could make a strong one. He doesn't look to shoot the ball enough. He's got to be more aggressive. That's kind of what I was gearing at. He passes up a lot of shots, kind of deferring to the older guys who've been here before. But no, I mean, if you're good enough, you're old enough. It's kind of my deal. Freshman, senior, doesn't matter to me. And so I want him to be a little bit more assertive.
You announced Coach Henson to the staff today.
Yeah.
How'd that come about?
So Coach Henson actually coached against me, and I'm really date him now. When I was in college, he was at Missouri State in 2003. I think we wound up in the same preseason tournament. Not that that had anything to do with today, but just my knowledge of him goes back that far. And then I was very aware when his team at Missouri State in 2006 was a 21 RPI, and still I think the lowest ever to not make the NCAA tournament. So I kind of always follow other really good coaches at every level. And then we scrimmaged his team my first year here when he was at Southern Illinois. I know he loves this university. He's going to bring an unbelievable amount of experience to our bench. It's going to help some of our younger coaches understand what it takes to have success, both in game planning and maybe some recruiting strategies. And he's going to be a great benefit to me. Now I've got 3 former head coaches. I should be able to turn to any of them at any point and know that someone's been in whatever situation we're in at the time. So I'm excited to have him on board and look forward to seeing what he can do to impact us.
Is this the first time you've had an analyst in
Yes.
that role?
Yeah. Game's growing. There's a lot more specific ways that guys can help that don't necessarily cross over into other areas. And so just his experience game planning and having seen things, maybe he's seen a zone that someone else hasn't seen, or maybe he's played a defense that we can try to implement. It'll be something that we just have conversations about that he'll be able to help us with throughout the year.
Yeah, and especially his knowledge of coaches in this area, in the conference. I mean, even though he wasn't in the conference,
Sure.
I guess he was at KU for a while, but he knows a lot of coaches in this league.
He knows the league, he knows our region, and he knows this state. And so all those things are going to be incredibly valuable to us because it still is a relationship-oriented business. And so he'll be able to reach out to somebody maybe, in another conference that we may play and just get some insight into something or somebody and not necessarily have to feel like, he's missing the game. And I tell you, no one's more passionate about this place, Oklahoma State University basketball program, than Coach Henson is.
I know the answer to this question. You're still racking up frequent flyer miles.
I am still racking up frequent flyer miles. I won't fly tonight. I'm still looking at the clock. I don't know how I missed that the Yankees and Astros actually play an afternoon game today. So I'll be in practice checking the score, and I'm not sure how long we'll go if the game's too close here early off we get out of hand. But yeah, we're still in the mode. We got about 2 to 3 weeks before signing day here, and continue to keep our foot on the gas there.
Did you mention Keelan as one of the younger guys who he's seen get better defensively and offensively now? So what have you seen out of him these last couple of days?
Yeah, I was actually a little bit concerned about him coming in. Not that he couldn't, but that most young guys haven't been asked to defend, and it takes him a while to understand that it's important. He's really embraced that, and I think he's found, in his mind at least, that maybe that's a way he can be different. And he's really embraced the challenge of being a defensive stopper down the road. He's not there yet, but he's really trying to pick up those concepts and taking a lot of pride in becoming better in those areas.
What aspect of your defensive structure he really improved on specifically?
Well, just first of all, positioning. I mean, a lot of it is just being in the right place. It's hard to make the plays when you can't get to the right position to start with. So just understanding where to be, and then sometimes letting his athletic ability take over. He's got really good instincts for the ball. He's a really good rebounder, and he's pretty good at running through pass lanes, getting deflections and steals. So those are all things that are going to benefit him and give him a chance to maybe get some playing time early.
You guys changed the format up a little bit for the homecoming and hoops thing. Was that important to you to make it a little more, I don't know, of an event kind of deal?
Nope. I'm not going to sit here and say I didn't take any credit for anything that's going to happen on Friday. I'm going to show up when someone tells me to, and I'm going to do whatever they ask me to do. And I hope it's a good event. We'll have some people who are important to the future of our program here, and as long as they have a good time, everything else is pretty good with me.
It's the first time that the fans really get to see, the team. So what image are you really trying to portray? It's when their personalities get to shine. Is that this homecoming pep rally?
I want our guys to just be themselves. I want them to show that they can have a good time, they enjoy each other, but there'll be some competition from what I hear, and I want them to try to win.
Do you think it's important for the team to be involved in stuff like this?
Oh, absolutely. It's an opportunity for our fans to kind of really engage with our players in a little bit more of a relaxed environment. Most of the time we come here, it's kind of tense, right? We're trying to win a game, but now the players are kind of a little bit more relaxed. There'll be some dancing. I want them to interact with our crowd. I'll try to interact with the crowd as much as I can. So it'll be a fun opportunity for everybody.
You think the freshmen are prepared for how loud it's going to be in here?
No, they have no idea what's coming. But it's hard to, right? They haven't heard it that way, and it's probably as loud as it gets in here on that night. And we have a few games. Hopefully, at some point we'll get to it. All the games are that loud, but it'll be as loud as they can remember, for sure.
Any predictions for the dunk contest?
No, I don't know who's in it. I don't even know.
Cam and
Marcus, Caleb, and Avery.
Cam, Caleb, Marcus, and Avery. I'm going to take Avery only because you usually kind of get the benefit of the doubt, being a smaller guy. Caleb's probably at a disadvantage. His dunks probably won't look that impressive, although I'm sure they're not easy, right? If Avery and Caleb do the same dunk, Avery's going to score higher. That's kind of how it works. So I'll take Avery in that one.
How can you kind of use this crowd, for your younger guys to kind of, this is what you can expect at certain times?
Yeah, I mean, this is what we're trying to build toward. I'm going to help let them understand that when it's this loud every night, this is what we're going to use to our advantage. This building has life. When we get it full, it'll be full, it'll be loud, the students will be into it. And I want our guys to embrace that and understand that this is a part of our success. Our fans and our students, the energy that they bring here is going to be a big part of why we have success in this building.
I heard that Markel Brown's coming back. Is that cool for you? What guys you didn't necessarily coach, but they're coming back to be a part of the program?
Absolutely. Markel's been around several times. He obviously is really good friends with Keaton, who he played with. And I got a lot of respect for all those guys who I never played for a dime. So I understand how hard it is to make it to where he's made it. I wish he was in a slam dunk contest. I put all my money on him.
Do you see Hitty fitting in more 4 or 5 offense?
I mean, I guess it'll depend from game to game. We'll adapt and make the other team have to adjust to him because he can play the 4. It's probably his most natural spot. But against some of the bigger teams, maybe having him as a 5, but his skill set is going to be a benefit to us. So he's smart enough that he can do both. His skill package also presents that option for us.
With the California bill being passed, do you believe student athletes should be paid?
California bill. So I don't know the bill. I can't really speak to it. I will say this. I was a student athlete from 2000 to 2004 at South Carolina. I had zero value to that program. Everything that I got was totally one-sided. I received all the benefits of being a student athlete at the University of South Carolina. I do realize that this is different. And there are guys, wasn't me, that maybe could have been more valuable, right? So there's a place for it. What does it look like? It's probably a little complicated, but it's something we can figure out. I do believe that we live in a capitalist society, and if someone can, of their own image, truly have value, then I don't see why we should not allow that to happen. But at the same time, I do know that there's a narrative out there that all these kids, right, are worth all this money. And I can stand here as somebody who was a former student athlete and tell you that there's not a single person in Columbia, South Carolina that would have paid me to do anything. And I didn't deserve it, right? I worked hard. I was on scholarship. I had a great time. I benefited. I got my degree, and it gave me an opportunity to have a great career. Play with some guys that maybe, because they were much better, more talented, maybe they could have. So case by case. But I think, the extremes that we go, absolutely not, or everyone, not going to find a whole lot of.
Do you think that if everyone starts to get paid, there'll be a shift in the balance of power from state to state?
If everyone starts to get paid.
If every state were to start paying their athletes.
That's probably a little deep for me without having the benefit of really understanding it. I'll say this, so in California, at least from what I would think, there are a lot of professional athletes, right? So if I own a restaurant, do I want to invest in the backup quarterback at said university, or do I want to invest my money in Anthony Davis? I mean, there's still only one person to invest that money in, right? And so it may actually be opposite of what people would think. It may be smaller states with not as many professional athletes who can afford to put those opportunities for college students. So I don't know. Again, it's complex, but I think it's something that it'll get resolved. It's probably overdue for guys like Zion Williamson. Sure, I mean, no question about it. There are very few Zion Williamsons.